Hey guys, today we are going to discuss about fundamentals of security for Configuration Manager and also fundamentals of role-based administration for Configuration Manager. Let's start.
Fundamentals of security for Configuration Manager. There are 5 layers mainly in a security layer: Windows OS and network security, network infrastructure, Configuration Manager security controls, SMS provider, site database permissions.
Windows OS and network security. In this layer, the first layer is provided by Windows security features for both the OS and the network. This layer includes the following components: file sharing to transfer files between Configuration Manager components, access control lists (ACLs) to help secure files and registry keys, Internet Protocol Security (IPsec) to help secure communications, group policy to set security policy, Distributed Component Object Model (DCOM) permissions for distributed applications, like the Configuration Manager console, Active Directory domain services to store security principles, Windows account security, including some groups that Configuration Manager creates during setup.
Second layer is network infrastructure. Network security components, like firewalls and intrusion detection, help provide defense for the whole environment. Certificates issued by industry standard public key infrastructure (PKI) implementations help provide authentication, signing, and encryption.
Third layer is Configuration Manager security controls. By default, only local administrators have rights to the files and registry keys that the Configuration Manager console requires on computers where you install it.
Fourth layer is SMS provider. The next layer of security is based on access to the SMS provider. The SMS provider is a Configuration Manager component that grants a user access to query the site database for information. The SMS provider primarily exposes access through Windows Management Instrumentation (WMI), but also a REST API called the Administration Service. By default, access to the provider is restricted to members of the local SMS admins group. This group at first contains only the user who installed Configuration Manager. To grant other accounts permission to the Common Information Model (CIM) repository and the SMS provider, add the other accounts to the SMS admins group, you can specify the minimum authentication level for administrators to access Configuration Manager sites. This feature enforces administrators to sign into Windows with the required level. For more information, see Plan for the SMS provider.
Next topic is fundamentals of role-based administration for Configuration Manager. With Configuration Manager, you use role-based administration to secure the access that administrative users need to use Configuration Manager. You also secure access to the objects that you manage, like collections, deployments, and sites. The role-based administration model centrally defines and manages hierarchy-wide security access. This model is for all sites and site settings by using the following items. Security roles are assigned to administrative users to give them permission to Configuration Manager objects. For example, permission to create or change client settings. Security scopes are used to group specific instances of objects that an administrative user is responsible to manage. For example, an application that installs the Configuration Manager console. Collections are used to specify groups of users and devices that the administrative user can manage in Configuration Manager. 1011 With the combination of roles, scopes, and collections, you segregate the administrative assignments that meet your organization's requirements. Used together, they define the administrative scope of a user. This administrative scope controls the objects that an administrative user views in the Configuration Manager console, and it controls the permissions that a user has on those objects.